Ski Mask the Slump God is probably one of the weirdest artists in hip-hop right now. And when I say weird, I mean weird in the absolute best way possible. Whether that's from his unique flows, over-the-top ad-libs, or creative bars which have literally thousands of references, is definitely not something you'd hear in the mainstream music. With that being said, his production is no different. And there's a lot of production techniques in there which break the industry norms. So today we're going to be breaking down 3 different beats in 3 different styles of Ski Mask the Slump God. Starting with his most iconic sound, the bouncy 2000 style. These are songs like Catch Me Outside, Faucet Failure, Foot Fungus, Ooga Booga, that up-tempo, bouncy, super Timbaland influenced. Timbaland is one of Ski Mask's favorite producers and they have worked on a few records together.
Another mixtape I'm dropping with just straight old instrumentals like Missy Elliott instrumentals and shit like that. Timbaland is my favorite producer, not to mention
So we're in FL and we are at 104 BPM. So this first technique is going to be starting with the drums. And the first thing I always lay down is the percussion. You can use some old like sampled percussion loop splice. You can make your own. I actually made this, but I thought it wasn't doing enough, so I wanted to add some more percussion on top of that, just for like a little impact. And when you think of Ski Mask, you think of very weird, out of the box, unorthodox. So I added a few weird, out of the box sound effects like this laser, this money counter beep, and then this water sound, which I think is just perfect for Ski Mask.
Water.
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 The next interesting part of Ski Mask's beats are the melodies. Started with this kind of laser sound, and I laid down just this simple melody to use as like a bass. And then I just pitched this percussion sound around. So we're still going for this very percussion heavy beat, but I use it in a more melodic sense. And it's just a super simple melody, like there's 3 notes in there. I then layered that exact same melody on a flute. On both the percussion sound and the flute, I have an EQ, reverb, and then the real sauce here is this pancake plugin, which just makes it go in the left and right ears. Because when it's a super simple melody like that, you need all the little ear candy you can. And that's the key with these Ski Mask beats, is the ear candy. So we have the melody going in and out of the different sides. We have the random sound effects. And that all makes very simple stuff come together into a more interesting beat. Now it's time to lay down the rest of the drums and additional sound effects. For the sound selection, you want to go with a mix of 2000 sounds, but also modern trap sounds. So I use this Neptune style kick, but a more trap style clap. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to explain exactly how I make these sounds, how I made the percussion loop, stuff like that. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. But I like these bigger, wider sounding kicks with trap hi-hats, trap claps. That seems to be my best formula. For the hats, I lay down very like short, snappy phrases rather than just like a full like 2-step rhythm with like rolls and like, you know, your more traditional hat pattern. Then we have a few more sounds of open hat and a couple Vox sounds. I actually recorded those Vox sounds myself, you know, just went into the mic, gave like a little couple and pitched it up, you know, just fucked with it. It sounded pretty good. So these are panned again, little ear candy. Final thing percussion wise, just to add a little bit more on top of everything, I have this simple bouncy perc loop. With these beats, it's okay to have a lot of percussion as long as you don't overcomplicate the patterns. You can have a lot of sounds, just keep it simple. Now for the 808s, I just used a very short, snappy 808 and I followed the kick pattern, added a few notes here and there. Some key things to remember for this sound is it's all about the drum bounce. Start with your drums, establish the rhythm, then lay down some catchy melodies after, then lay down the rest of the drums combining both trap influence and 2000s influence. With that being said, here is the first beat. That was by far the most iconic ski sound, but there is no ski mask without these other two sounds, which we're going to cover. Next sound, I just call them weird alien beats. I'm suck at naming these, but the weird alien beats are songs like Baby Wipe, Nuketown, Coolest Monkey in the Jungle, Jumpy, which is a new song with Rich Brian, Burn the Hoods. They're basically kind of more traditional trap drums, but with these weird alien-like melodies on top of them. So this first production technique is what I call warping. So we started with this simple 2-note melody. And just that repeats throughout the entire beat. I put that same MIDI on a couple different sounds, but I didn't like how that sounded. So I pitched it down an entire octave and then 2 more semitones as well. You might be wondering, that's pretty fucking stupid. You could have just went to the piano roll and pitched it down in there. Let me tell you, you're wrong. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but when you export an audio file, then you change it, especially if you change the tempo. I believe this was actually originally faster. Then it gives it like an interesting warped sound. Then just for some bass, I layered this. So the drums, super simple. I have some sauce for this hi-hat loop down here, but I just kept it super simple trap sounds. These are all from my Memphis kit. More on that in a bit, but I actually just started with the kick. And that isn't anything unique. For the hats, I just went into my Memphis kit. I dragged in one of the hat midis. There's a bunch of them, over 20 of them in here. And that's how we established this bounce. The Memphis kit is perfect for funk beats, Memphis stuff. There's an entire drum kit with over 50 808s that I made, an entire MIDI kit with cowbell melodies and all the drum midis, a bunch of percussion loops and song starters, which you've seen in the last couple beats. There's some mixing presets and tutorial FLPs from my original funk tutorial. So you're getting 4 kits in one right there. But on top of that, for people watching this video specifically, I'm gonna bundle this with my 2000s kit, which you was seen in the last beat, which is an entire drum kit, loop kit, drum loop kit, drum MIDI kit, melody MIDI kit. So you're getting like 7-8 kits here for an extremely discounted price. These were already extremely discounted. Now it's even crazier. This is one of the biggest bundles I've ever done in my entire kit career. So go into the description, tap in with that. For the 808s, I used 2 808s here because I made this one in my kit literally over a year ago when I made the kit, and I knew it was going to come in handy one day, and it's just perfect for these ski beats because it's so unorthodox and just weird. For the second 808, just a little bit of fast distortion. On top of everything, as you heard before, there's this hi-hat loop. The sauce for this is you take a regular hi-hat pattern, like this for example, and what I did to make that was I went into Shaperbox 3. I literally don't even have it. I just used the free demo to make it, and I just went through some of these presets. We'll just go to a random one. Yeah, so now we have like a weird, interesting rhythm just by doing that. But yeah, I really thought that hat loop just added so much to the drums because these were just super boring, kind of basic trap drums in the beginning. And then those weird unorthodox hats, which just gave it the ski mask vibe to me. Finally, for the melodies, halfway through, just because it gets a little repetitive and boring, good old halftime, EQ, and delay. All together, this is going to be the second beat. This third and final sound is going to be the most classic sound. It's going to be that ski mask and X sound, those distorted hard underground beats like Take a Step Back, Broly, Off the Wall, Fuck, R.I.P. Roach, so many more. There's so many songs in this genre, and they are dumb simple to make. Everything from this is from the funk kit once again. And that leads me to the first production technique, which is finding these weird ass ambient sounds. There's not even melodies in these beats, they're just sounds. So I usually just find some type of like siren or some weird sound like that, and I'll slow it down, reverse it. This time I went into the Metamorphosis kit, which is the funk kit. I went to this risers and transitions tab, and I found this little reverb snare. Then what I did was I reversed it, pitched it down a shit ton, slowed it down, and I made a melody out of it. Then that repeats 3 times, and the 4th time it's pitched up 1 semitone. Just to make it even spacier, EQ, Crush, which is a bit crusher, it's a free plugin, Fruity Reverb 2, and Delay. Then for the beat to drop, you need to have some type of like reverse cymbal, riser, or my favorite, snare roll. There's a bunch of snare rolls in the Metamorphosis kit once again, but I just made this from scratch. A good method you could do here is go down here to find pitch and then just drag this down and it will just pitch down like I did. Basic, hard-hitting drums. Don't be afraid to go a little extra with the drums in terms of like more complex, busy patterns because there's nothing going on with the melody at all. So for the hats, this was another hat MIDI from the kit. I went a little bit all out, you know, I got some pretty interesting rolls in here. It's not just a two-step, it's not like super spaced out. I got a lot of stuff going on. Basic repetitive cymbal. Then the most iconic part is going to be the 808s. These need to be loud. We'll get into the mixing in a bit. But for the 808s, make sure they're hitting hard, make sure they're bassy, make sure they're distorted. I got Fruity Fast Distort, EQ just so it's not too crazy, Soft Clipper again just so it's not absolutely destroying the mix. The way I like to mix these beats is one, you need Soft Clipper on the master, and then I'll just mix it as normal. You know, I'll get like a bit of a clean mix going, I'll make sure it sounds good, then we'll just fucking turn it up until like it really starts distorting a little bit. Not too much, obviously, you don't want it to just sound so bad, but, you know, just keep going up a little bit. If you got Soft Clipper on, it shouldn't be too bad, but you just want it to distort everything just a little bit. Just for some bounce, I added in this little percussion loop from the kit in the intro and this little riser. And this is going to be the final third beat. Again, if you want hundreds of sounds and loops for the more trap side of things, as well as a bonus pack, which is perfect for 2000 beats, click the first link in the description. It's the best offer I've ever done, and I'll see you guys in the next one.